Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to coverage of Audubon Green Wave Baseball here from William G. Rohrer Memorial Field in Haddon Township, just off of Cuthbert Road. It's a wonderful game, but not exactly on a wonderful day. It's spitting some raindrops out here this afternoon as the Green Wave have another Colonial Conference matchup, their first since April 20, even before that, April 20th or April 19th, around that time, was the last time that Audubon played a Colonial Conference matchup. It's been several weeks, but the Green Wave are back in a ballpark familiar to them as the Haddon Township Hawks face off against the Audubon Green Wave. The Hawks are going into this one 7-9 under the leadership of head coach Nick Delgazzo. The last time Audubon played Haddon Township, they won 13-1 in 5 innings, with Nick Caladros having a 5-inning game in that one. But for Haddon Township, they started off the year 4-1. They lost to Williamstown, but then had a 4-game win streak versus the likes of Gateway, Leap Academy, Paulsboro, and Middle Township. But then after that, they lost 4 in a row, losing to Collingswood, Cherry Hill East, Moorestown, and Haddon Heights. And then they've split really ever since. A win to Gloucester, a loss to West Deptford, a win versus Camden Academy Charter, a loss to St. Joseph's of Hamilton, a win versus Cinnaminson, but 2 losses in a row dating back to the 25th versus Haddonfield and Cherokee. After this, Haddon Township is going to be playing Deptford tomorrow, which is a team that Audubon scrimmaged back in March. But for the Green Wave, if you didn't watch yesterday, they won 13-3 over the Bordentown Scotties. And with that being said, Audubon is wrapping up their warm-ups, so let's go over the starting lineups. For the visiting Green Wave, as coached by Rich Horan, we have Tyler Wiltsey at shortstop batting first. Scott Lynch is the starting pitcher batting second. Ryan Zimmer is the catcher batting third. Charlie Grady is the left fielder batting cleanup. Jack Dempsey is the second baseman batting fifth. Trent Bannell is in right field batting sixth. Gabe McCracken is the third baseman batting seventh. Bryce Dempsey is the center fielder batting eighth. And Joey Slavin is the first baseman and DH batting ninth. For the Haddon Township Hawks here this afternoon, as coached by Nick Delgazzo, out in center field is going to be Colton Schaub. He bats leadoff. Batting second and playing shortstop is going to be number 9, Eamon Sheehan, the freshman. Batting third and playing first base is going to be number 44, the junior Nick Burns. In center field, batting cleanup is going to be Colin Colby. At the left field spot, batting fifth is going to be Tyler Johnston. At the sixth spot at second base is going to be Colin Revelle. At the seventh spot, catching, is Ryan Schultz. At the pitcher's spot, batting eighth, is number 7, which is Nate Cristofaro. Batting ninth and playing third base is going to be number 19, Bobby Evans. Or excuse me, number 16, Bobby Evans. So, folks, we have ourselves a good one. Umpires, coaches, and players meeting at home plate to discuss ground rules. And we are going to go to a quick break before we have some Colonial Conference action between the Audubon Green Wave and the Haddon Township Hawks, live on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Here from William G. Rohrer Field, home of the Haddon Township Hawks. Audubon is going to be partaking in some Colonial Conference action today, although not within their own division, as the Green Wave visit Haddon Township, excuse me. If you remember last year, the Green Wave won decidedly 13-1 when Haddon Township came to town last year, and it's the first time since 2021 that the Green Wave are playing Haddon Township in Township. The Hawks are taking the field as Nate DeCristofaro is going to look for the start this afternoon and look to shut down the Green Wave as quick as possible. Again, for the Green Wave this afternoon, it's Tyler Wiltsey at shortstop batting leadoff. Scott Lynch, the pitcher, batting second. Ryan Zimmer is the catcher, batting third. Charlie Grady is the left fielder, batting cleanup. At second base and batting fifth is Jack Dempsey. In right field, batting sixth is Trent Bennell. At third base, batting seventh is Gabe McCracken. The center fielder, batting eighth, is Bryce Dempsey. Now, Charlie Copsetta is looking like he's going to return as soon as Wednesday, but Zach Beebe will probably be out for the rest of the regular season with that concussion that he obtained on Thursday versus St. Augustine. I believe it was versus St. Augustine on Thursday. And he went down and, excuse me, so he is going to check back and reevaluate with a doctor in 2 weeks, which essentially is going to be at the end of the regular season. But I digress. The center fielder again is Bryce Dempsey, and the first baseman is Joey Slavin. Now Slavin is going to play first base until Scott Lynch comes out of the game, which he's not relatively a distance or stamina based pitcher. He's kind of more getting relief outs and getting the start today. He's probably only going to throw 2 or 3 innings, if I'm guessing, but basically, once he is out of the game, Lynch will take over at first base, and Joey will remain in the lineup as a DH. But for DeCristofaro this season, he's going to be looking to set down Wiltsey, Lynch, and Zimmer as the first objective of the ball game. The senior right-hander with a 4.91 ERA in his senior campaign, 25 2/3 innings, 28 strikeouts, 3 hit by pitches, 15 walks, and 18 runs allowed. This is his 6th appearance of the year after throwing over 5 innings versus Williamstown, Paulsboro, Morristown, and West Deptford. And the first pitch to Tyler Wiltsey is a fly ball down the right field line. And calling for it and making the catch is Haddon Township. There's one away, so 1 pitch, 1 out. DeCristofaro taking care of Wiltsey without a problem. DeCristofaro's last appearance was in Haddon Township's last game. That was on April 27th versus Cherokee. That was back on Thursday. 11-1 loss, gave up 5 runs in 3 innings. But again, Cherokee is one of the top Group 4 schools in South Jersey, and Haddon Township is a Group 1 school that, you know, as you can see by the temporary fences, I wouldn't say personally that, like, for example, Sterling has a temporary fence, but they're still a good baseball team. So you look at the field and you think, well, what in the world's going on here? But these folks have a very rooted baseball tradition. And whether they can afford to have, you know, fields that don't have the hanging, the backdrop so low down there, it's not a slight. It's almost like I'm just observing how, you know, what these folks have, because you look at Audubon's field and you look at the fact that they just put down like brand new dirt in the infield over the off season, and really the resources of these small Group 1 schools, they're limited. So yeah, the old dugouts may look rickety and worn, but that's what they are working with. So I admire the teams for playing in this grassroots environment that really is a callback to the old days of baseball, and, you know, back when it was a lot better and a lot traditional of a game. Here's a ground ball out to short, picked up, throw across the diamond is not in time, and a rare infield single for Scott Lynch puts a runner on with 1 down. Close play at first, and Ryan Zimmer will bat next. Couple of drops of rain falling here from the skies in Haddon Township this afternoon. Foul back to the apparatus. It's 0-1. Township, 54 degrees at first pitch with winds blowing west to southwest at 14 miles per hour. And the humidity right at 55%. Here's a ground ball. There's one. Here's the throw to first, and that is no, it's not going to be a double play. It's going to skip away. Going to second base will be Zimmer. He'll hold up there. So they get the fielder's choice, but the shortstop miscues the throw, and we will now have a runner on second with 2 down for Charlie Grady. It's one of the hardest things to complete, one of the hardest things to execute in high school baseball is that kind of double play, because they practice it so much, but there's so many moving parts that go on. The second baseman has to be here, the shortstop has to be here at X amount of time, and first baseman's got to be here, and he's got to move around to this spot. Third baseman's got his own place to be in a double play in case the throw goes wide or something like that. There's so many moving parts in a double play that make it so difficult to execute, even though the pros make it look so easy. I played 1 inning of second base in my life at Little League. It was like a 15-1 game. We were like an inning away from being mercy ruled, and I said, "Coach, can you put me in the infield?" And he said, "Sure, you'll go at second base." That's one of the things that go about with Little League, is that you can shift around positions freely during the game. So you would often see, like, if there was kind of a versatile role player on your team, he would sometimes be pitching, he would sometimes be in the outfield, sometimes would be at third base. You know, you'd see players sometimes go 3 or 4 positions during a 6-inning game. And here's a hot shot into left, but foul.
That's the way Little League should be. It's about learning and playing rather than, focusing. Yeah, everybody wants to win, but you have to learn how to play before you can win.
And everybody in Little League is a utility player, unless you're a catcher, which catchers have like their own 5-mile radius around that. But it's why I've never been a huge fan of like AAU tournaments for like kids under 14 or 15. You're just learning the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it on so many signs of Little League and high school fields, especially Little League fields, that say, "Your kid is not being scouted today." And it's true. It is true. Calm down. Hold your horses. These kids are here to be kids, and they're here to play. And Nate DeCristofaro is here to play as he strikes out Charlie Grady on a fastball upstairs to retire the side. Green Wave leave a runner on second. Haddon Township will have their first 3 up in the bottom half of the first. Scott Lynch getting the start this afternoon here in Haddon Township on a cloudy Tuesday afternoon with a couple scattered showers here and there, just some light rain falling down here at William G. Rohrer Field. Audubon left a runner on second, which was Zimmer, and Charlie Grady struck out to Nate DeCristofaro as Lynch is going to get the ball here, met by the Audubon infield. First 3 for the Hawks will be Colton Schaub, the freshman Eamon Sheehan, and Nick Burns, the first baseman. So here is Schaub. Lynch kicks and deals. Breaking ball about a country mile high, and it's 1-0. You know, I say all the time, a country mile, like if a fly ball is a country mile high in the sky. I actually don't know how far a country mile is compared to like an imperialist mile.
I think it's meant to be longer, but now I will look that up.
Yes. Almost like a nautical mile is longer than a physical mile that you would trace on the ground. 2-0. There's a strike. 2-1 right down Broadway by Lynch. Here's a fly ball to left. That one's going to get in the corner, and it is a foul ball. An interesting arrangement down the left field line. So this taller foul pole is what separates fair and foul, but this one down in the corner, I guess, doesn't have the same significance. But you can see how tall that fence is compared to Charlie Grady. It's almost like Haddon Township's got their own little green monster, except it's mostly transparent and not opaque at all, as there's a swing and a miss. Schaub strikes out, and the ball will toss around the infield once more. Lynch records his first K of the afternoon, bringing up Eamon Sheehan.
So the funny thing is, I look up country mile, and the dictionary version comes up first, and it says a very long way. In quotes, he hit the ball a country mile. What you exactly said.
But it's no set distance.
Well, hold on to this.
Here's the 0-1. Here's a line drive out to right and caught by Jack Dempsey.
What a catch.
Umps check his shoes, make sure he ain't got those moon shoes on, and that's 2 down.
See, I knew that was going to happen. That's why I was pausing.
There you go. Well, Sheehan lines out to second, and this brings up Nick Burns.
So roughly speaking, a country mile is 10 furlongs, which is 2,200 yards, whereas a mile is 8 furlongs, or 1,760 yards.
Don't make me do math.
I know, but it's 2 more furlongs.
Yeah. So what the heck is a furlong? Like that.
We're gonna go down the rabbit hole.
That raised more questions than answers. But Slavin boots the ball, and his plan B is to toss it to Lynch at first base. Good teamwork there to recover on the ground ball. Haddon Township goes down 1-2-3. We go to the second, no score. Back here in the top of the second, some fans hanging out on the rooftop of Haddon Township High School as Jack Dempsey takes a first pitch for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes from DeCristofaro. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Green Wave in the top half of the second. That one misses, 2-0. Keep in mind, Haddon Township, or excuse me, Audubon, playing a lot of games this week. They played Bordentown yesterday, and won 13-3 over the course of 6 innings in a mercy rule. After that, after today, Audubon will play Holy Cross Prep in the first round of the Diamond Classic, 3:45 at home, and then Gateway on Thursday, again, 3:45 at home. Saturday is a bit of a mixed bag, as the count is 2-2. Saturday is a bit of a mixed bag because if Audubon wins versus Holy Cross, they would play Buna in the second round of the Diamond Classic. Now, one of the questions you may ask is, well, it's the Diamond Classic, is it worth rearranging a game and canceling a previously scheduled game for the Diamond Classic? And I would say yes, because the Diamond Classic is kind of like the South Jersey unofficial championship, if you say so. So here's the fly ball to right, picked up and caught by Schaub, and there's one away. So here's Trent Bennell, the right fielder. With one down, no score in the top of the second. But one of the things is that with the Diamond Classic, there's so much on the line that it's kind of like the unofficial South Jersey Championship, and teams take it so seriously that it's really nothing to scoff at, and you take it, you know, with all the pride that your team has in its tank.
Sometimes playing for pride is more than playing for position.
You look at what happens with the World Baseball Classic. You saw the Dominican Republic players getting interviewed, and they said, would you rather win a World Series or win a World Baseball Classic? And almost all of them said they'd rather win a WBC. Fly ball to center, taken in, and there's 2 down. So Green Wave have been held to 1 hit through 1 2/3 as Audubon will look to play catch-up after the fly ball caught by Schaub. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Hawks in the bottom half of the second. Colby, Johnston, and Revelle, the second baseman. So basically what's going on is that on Saturday, Audubon is slated to play Williamstown at 3 o'clock, which they can't really move up because there's SAT testing that day, and that would knock a lot of Audubon players out of contention. But that one is going to be downstairs, 1-1. But if Audubon beats Holy Cross, then they would play Buna, which is 13-2 this year, on Saturday. So if Audubon beats Holy Cross, they basically cancel and forget about the Williamstown game and instead play Buna on Saturday in Buna. So either way, Audubon's going to be playing a game, but the question that still remains is when and where, basically. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch is a swing and a miss to Cristofaro. Really in a groove here. 2 strikeouts through 2 innings and just 1 hit allowed. Green Wave held at bay so far. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. Here in the bottom of the second inning, this broadcast is brought to you by Gennaro Furness, Rodan and Fields, independent consultant. Check out our Facebook page for more information, deals, and sales. Audubon has really been kind of rough to start off the ball game, but there's a line drive foul down the left field line. Quite a loud aircraft flying above. Somewhere up there. There it is. Here's the 1-1. It's outside, 2-1. Audubon with one hit through 2 innings. Nate DeCristofaro really working his craft tonight. Golfs one to right field, and Banel going over, not going to get there. It's a fair ball. And Haddon Township, after going down in order in the first, leads off the second with a single off the bat of Colby. So here is Tyler Johnston, the junior right fielder. Called for a strike, 0-1. Showing bunt, Johnston, he pulls back. And it's called for a strike, 0-2. We're kind of setting up a little bit further back than we usually do because there's a temporary fence here at Haddon Township, so we're kind of playing it safe and making sure that nothing happens. As a fly ball out to straightaway right. Banel's got it. He makes the catch and holding Haddon Township at first base for the first out. And here's Colin Revelle, the junior. There's Nick Delgazzo right there, Haddon Township's head coach. Like we said, 7-9 for the Hawks this year, which is more games than Audubon has played. That's 16 games all told, and the Green Wave are in their 14th game of the season. But really, the amount of games you play are partially controlled by conference rules and how many games you have to play interconference, but also by the coach's ambition. If the coach thinks that he has enough pitchers where he can schedule 3 games a week every week, then he'll schedule an out-of-conference opponent, you know, maybe here or there, and give us a road game on the weekends or something like that. But, like, for example, West Deptford, West Deptford played the most games out of anybody in the Colonial Conference at 28. They were 15-13. Audubon was 22-6, so they also played 28 games, but West Deptford also played a lot more out-of-conference games than Audubon did last year. I don't know if you kind of had the same vibe that I did, but it felt like Audubon last year just kept playing divisional opponent after divisional opponent, and, you know, Colonial Conference teams left and right and center, but it seems like this year Audubon's getting a little bit more creative with who they're scheduling against, as they did pre-COVID, and now they kind of have the freedom to do that again. Here's the 1-2. Throw back to first. Nothing going on there. Still 1-2 to Revelle. Swing, miss. Revelle down on strikes, second K for Lynch. There's 2 down. Strike one. To Schultz. Tyler Schultz at the dish here for Haddon Township. I don't know why I said Ryan Schultz in the pregame. Throw back to first, nothing going in. I think Ryan Schultz is a player on Haddon Heights, so wrong Haddon. 0-1. After this would be the pitcher, DeCristofaro. Runner is going. Zimmer with a quick pop time, and the throw is going to sail past short, and Dempsey is able to save face by preventing that ball from going into center field. So a stolen base for Colby. And that's going to put Haddon Township with a runner in scoring position here with 2 down. Really, I think the Colonial Conference this year is probably some of the best baseball that we've seen in the conference in a long, long time. It's going to be a 2-2 count to Schultz. Gloucester is really good this year. Haddon Township hovering around 500. Again, they were about, I think, 8-13 last year, only playing in 21 games, but 2-2 is going to be a swing and a miss, and we'll pick up where we left off in the third. Chugging along here at William G. Rohrer Field, no score after 2. Here in the top of the third, Green Wave and Haddon Township deadlocked at 0 as Bryce Dempsey will bat. This broadcast is brought to you in part by DJK Roofing, South Jersey's #1 roofing supplier with over 200 5-star reviews on the web. Get a free quote today by calling Carmine Rampolla at 856-778-3900. Again, that's 856-778-3900. 1-1 count to the number 8 hitter for the Green Wave, Bryce Dempsey, as he'll take a strike. 1-2. And the pitch is a ground ball past to Cristofaro and into center field, a base hit. So Bryce Dempsey with a leadoff knock to start the third, and Joey Slavin will be next. After a single by Scott Lynch in the first, Green Wave went down in order with 2 flyouts and a strikeout in the second, so DeCristofaro will have to be on his toes just a little more. Throw back first. Close play, but nothing going on there. Goodness. Ugh. Need to have like a mute button on my mic for that. Here's a punt by Slavin down the third base line, and that, I don't know if they called it fair or foul. You know, it was a foul ball. Now, smart though by Haddon Township, because I think the hive mind thinking is that when you see a bunt, you always have to try to attack the baseball and go to it as quickly as possible, but sometimes you have to play the waiting game. If it's fair, and you pay the consequences for it being fair. But if it's foul, you don't want to pick it up when it looks like it's going to be trailing over that way. So it's 0-1 to Slavin. Tyler Wiltsey due up for the Green Wave in the top of the fourth. Here's the 0-1. Slavin again showing bunt. And he's got a pump fake, throw back to first. Nothing going on there. Bit of a chaotic play, but it's... I think they're going to call it 0-2 now, because I think Slavin still went around on the bunt. Runner on first, no outs for the Green Wave as they look to capitalize on a leadoff single by the center fielder Dempsey. 1-2, as that one missed inside. Slavin and then Tyler Wiltsey, followed by the pitcher Scott Lynch. One-two. And that is a strikeout look. DeCristofaro with 3 Ks in as many innings, and there's one away for Tyler Wiltsey, who flew out to right on the first pitch of the ballgame. Throw over. Didn't get him, and all the buns stuck out. They always make me laugh so hard. It's like Waldorf and Stafford. It's a group of a conglomerate of people in the dugout. 0-1 to Tyler. Another throw over. That's Audubon's dugout, because DeCristofaro keeps throwing over to the bag, and they keep just yelling, no! Can't get enough of it. It's 1-1. My goodness. 1-1 on a curveball, lined to the third base line, and it almost took out Coach Knoll. Wiltsey, the sophomore shortstop, batting .488 in 2023, 20 for 41 going into this game. And a ground ball got on top of it. DeCristofaro is going to get the easiest out possible, and he's going to be out there. That was an interesting play by Nick Burns, but he's able to apply the tag just the same. So Dempsey moves up to second base, and this is going to bring up Scott Lynch. So that is technically not, that's technically a fielder's choice, because even though they got the out at first, they still got the runner at second base. So because it wasn't a double play, it's classified as a fielder's choice on the scorecard. First pitch is a breaking ball taken for a strike, 0-1. Yeah, I had no idea that after a .424 average in your freshman year, I had no idea that you could possibly improve on that, but that's exactly what Tyler Wiltsey has done. Had a 4-hit game versus Bordentown yesterday. So did Ryan Zimmer, who is on deck for the Green Wave. Pitch to Lynch, skied in the air. Back behind the plate in the infield, and it is taken in by Evans to retire the side. The Green Wave still having some issues offensively. They've only had maybe a couple of base runners here and there, sporadic throughout the innings. We go to the bottom of the third, no score. Bottom of the third in order for Haddon Township, as this has unusually been a scoreless game. Usually Audubon is one to pounce early, but Haddon Township has bowed down, not yet at least. 0-1 to Nate DeCristofaro, the pitcher, as he ropes one in the right field. That's a base hit. Vanel Fields and a leadoff single for the second time in this one, as DeCristofaro gets aboard. And this will bring up Evans. Bobby Evans, the third baseman at the dish. Throwback. Yeah, there is a track meet going on to our left, so we're used to having a couple of those for when the baseball team is playing at home. But Evans shows bunt, throw back to first. Did he get him? He did not. Close play, but pinch running for DeCristofaro at first.
I can usually
Number
see
12, Nick Manayas.
Sorry.
Yes.
I can usually see the track meet going on, and I'm not as scared by
Yeah, because it's
guns,
facing the other way.
but I can't see them today.
Right.
So when the gun went off, I
way.
just about jumped out of my skin.
1 ball, 1 strike to Evans with a runner on first and nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Here's another bunt. Right up the line. DeCristofaro is running with the foul ball. Yeah, I don't know why DeCristofaro, or rather Manayos, didn't run as soon as the ball was hit. Because on a bunt like that, as long as you know the ball's not going to be caught in the air, he saw that the ball and the launch angle was going down. So you got to run, whether it's fair or foul. You got to run. 1-2, swing and miss. Evans retired. 4 strikeouts for Lynch, all of them on swings, and this will bring up Colton Schaub back at the top of the order. Schaub struck out to start the ball game. For reference, when you hear the whistle in track and field, that's a warning to say that there's 25 seconds until the gun goes.
Yeah, I didn't hear the whistle though.
I heard it, so I knew it was coming.
I'm gonna try to pay attention.
Yeah,
so
when
I
you
stop
hear a
jumping.
whistle, it's 25 seconds because it's kind of like your get ready, get set, go. Fly ball center field. Dempsey is there. He'll make the catch, and again, Manayos will be held at bay. It's 2 down. Bringing up Eamon Sheehan. Sheehan, I know the name very well from when he hit a game-winning 3-pointer versus Audubon in basketball as a freshman this year. That was, it wasn't in the holiday tournament because I know Haddon Township finished second in that, but I know that was in the, like, later on in the season in January, so. I think he also plays soccer as well, so he's just kind of running into every single sport that I cover for Audubon when Haddon Township comes to play. But 1 ball, no strikes to Sheehan, the lefty hitting shortstop. Going to show bunt, but will not deliver. It's 1-1. Sheehan this year, .261 average, 6 for 23, all singles, 4 RBIs, 5 walks, and 5 stolen bases. I gotta say, there's a lot of freshmen out in South Jersey that really are viable threats on the base paths because they're so young and agile and versatile and, you know, nimble and quick that they're able to steal those bases before they develop more as a sophomore, junior, and senior. It seems like their first year is their best year to get out of the gate if you're going to be kind of Terrence Gore or Herb Washington kind of player, which is kind of what Damian Broadhurst was last year for the Green Wave. And we were trying to convince some of the track runners to multi-sport in the spring and be a baseball pinch runner, like exclusive pinch runner, but all of the players that we talked to unfortunately declined. So is what it is. 2-2. Although the go-to runners like Jason Stockland, they do a great job of kind of taking the place of the catcher or the pitcher at first base. The only thing is that they're not actively stealing the bag like Damian Broadhurst was. Broadhurst was second in the Colonial Conference in stolen bases. I think he was either first or second in the entire conference in stolen bases. They're swinging a miss. Lynch retires Sheehan, and we are out of another jam. Going to the fourth as the rain's coming down a little bit harder. It's no score. There's the whistle right there.
I got it that time.
Here in the top of the fourth, Green Wave and Haddon Township knotted up at 0. Today's trivia time question is, the New York Yankees rule that banned players from sporting facial hair started in what year? Is it 1988, 1973, 1921, or 1965? The answer will be revealed in the bottom of the fourth inning. We'll go back to the main board as Zimmer's at the plate to start the fourth for the Green Wave. I'm a little surprised that this game hasn't had at least some offense, but Lynch and DeCristofaro have really been some dueling demons on the mound this afternoon for both sides, and keeping hits to a minimum, keeping walks, hit by pitches to a minimum. No hit by pitches actually on either side, but that one falls downstairs, and it's 3-1 to Zimmer. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Green Wave. Zimmer, Grady, and Jack Dempsey. Both Dempseys in the order this afternoon with his brother Bryce in center field. That one's a liner. That one's foul. Look out for the fans that are up on the top of the bleachers. Looks like mostly Audubon fans. There's Dennis Bannell, John Stockland up there. That is the visiting football bleachers. Oh, okay. Here's a ground ball out to second base, picked up on a couple hops. Throw to first is in time, 1 down. I mean, you really got to tip your cap to DeCristofaro. You go into this game looking at Audubon and being like, well, these guys are 10-3, we're 7-9, and maybe don't have the same firepower against the Green Wave, but DeCristofaro has held them at bay, and he really has put in his best and brightest in his repertoire this afternoon, and that's really something you can just tip your cap at. That one is popped a mile high behind the plate and into the forest behind. 0-1. Breaking ball misses away, 1-1. Green Wave have only mustered 2 hits from Lynch and Bryce Dempsey. Both of them have been singles, and Lynch was retired on a fielder's choice, but Zimmer got all the way to second base. That's the furthest any runner has gotten for Audubon this afternoon. As there's a bullet back up the middle. Take it in, throw to first is not in time, and it's bobbled by Burns, but it counts just the same. An infield single for Charlie Grady, really showing off some wheels there, but a valiant effort at short, thanks to Sheehan. I mean, really, that was a nice moving play, and especially, I saw a couple of times in the warm-ups, Zimmer was actually slipping on the dirt when he was throwing the ball down the second, and that's not just him, you know, overthrowing the ball. He was genuinely getting stuck in the mud there, so you have to consider with fields like this isn't like Audubon where you can just dry the field at a moment's notice and be able to play baseball. And like if we call back to Bordentown yesterday, that was a turf field. When you play on turf, there's no really such thing as bad field conditions. All the time your field conditions are good because you don't have to worry about drying the field except for the pitcher's mound and the batter's box, which in Bordentown's case were actual dirt, but everything else was artificial. It was a beautiful facility to play on. Here's a pop-up. Out towards Sheehan, he's going to camp under it, and he will make the catch for out number 2, again holding Charlie at first base. After the pop-out by Dempsey, this is going to bring up Trent Bannell. He's 0 for 1, lined out to center his first time. Trent Bannell this year as the sophomore utilityman, 375 average, 6 for 15. With 1 hit by pitch, 2 walks, just 1 extra base hit. He's appeared in a handful of games this year. He's appeared in most. As that throw sails and it bangs off the garage door, Burns picks it up on the rebound, and the throw to second is going to get Charlie Grady. Talk about a lucky bounce as that throw airmailed the first baseman, bounced off of one of the garage doors down the first base line, and Charlie Grady was hung up at second base. We go to the bottom of the 4th, no score. Here in the bottom of the 4th, time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, the New York Yankees team rule that eliminated facial hair from being worn by the players was created in what year? 1988, 1973, 1921, or 1965? And let's reveal the answer as Scott Lynch will deliver his first offering. And the answer is B, 1973. What was your answer?
I got it wrong again.
Oh.
I thought 1965.
No, it was 1973 that George Steinbrenner put a stop to players on the Yankees wearing facial hair because he thought it was unclean and unmanly. So that rule still exists today, and even players with long hair still are encouraged to cut it by team rule. Inside, and it's 3-0 very quickly here to Nick Burns, the first
Marsh
baseman.
is never working for the Yankees.
It's Brandon Marsh. You always say Brad Marsh because you're thinking of Brad Miller.
Sorry.
The former Philly.
Trying to combine players.
3-0. That's a strike on the inside corner, and it's 3-1. See, the thing is that back in the 80s, you might remember this a little bit, but Don Mattingly, the first baseman, he always wore, sported a mustache as there's a hit by pitch, sending Burns down the first base, and this will bring up Colin Colby. But the thing about Mattingly was that when he was with not the Marlins, where was he before the Yankees? I believe he actually came up as a rookie with the Yankees back in 1984, and now that my mind is telling me I'm right, but when Mattingly came up, he had this big bushy mustache, not exactly Raleigh Fingers kind of mustache, but a very thick mustache, and the Yankees said, well, you got to shave it, and Mattingly said, no. And as a rookie, you don't have a lot of leeway, but they're not going to shove a razor in your face and make you do it, so they said, okay, then we're going to fine you every day until you shave it. And they actually benched him for a couple of days because he wouldn't shave the mustache. And when the Yankees finally realized that he wasn't going to budge anytime soon, then they actually lifted that provision of the rule and said, okay, players can now have mustaches. Only to like a certain extent, but still, they didn't have to be completely clean shaven. They were allowed to have not even like a goatee, but just a straight up mustache. And it's 3-1 to Colby. After this will be Tyler Johnston. There was a Giants pitcher, Brian Wilson, not to be confused with the member of the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson, because whenever I Google Brian Wilson to get a picture of his enormous beard, I always get Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, but the count is full after that swing and a miss. He was closer for the Giants during their dynasty run in the 2010s with 3 rings in not as many years, but 2010, 2012, and 2014. And if you look up Brian Wilson MLB and you look at his beard, you wouldn't be too surprised to learn that he actually said if the Giants traded him to the Yankees, he would refuse to play because he valued his beard so much that he would actually refuse to play for the New York Yankees than shave his beard. And that's how much he cared about it. So a walk to Colby, bringing up Tyler Johnston, and Wade Geis is going to go out and talk to his man Scott Lynch. No outs and 2 runners on, as Scott Lynch in a bit of a jam, but still looking to get out of it. Haddon Township having a track meet with West Deptford, as you can see everyone running. And they are now behind the grandstands. So Wade Geis, the alumni of the University of Northwestern Ohio. Here's Tyler Johnston after the walk to Colby and the hit by pitch by Nick Burns.
It was about to be a walk anyway when you hit him.
Yeah. It was a 3-2 pitch, but here comes a throwback. Nothing going on there. Yeah, like Rougned Odor, he was a former second baseman for the Rangers, and he bounced around a couple of teams before signing with the Yankees in 2022. I'm sorry, he was traded to the Yankees, and they made him shave his beard, and his beard went down to right around the bottom of his neck. Like, it just hung down from the bottom of his neck. And it was a big, bushy beard as well. It wasn't, it wasn't, it wasn't a beard for child's play. But when he actually went to the Yankees and shaved his beard, he went up to his daughter and she started crying because she didn't recognize her own father, which is a little bit evil of me for laughing at that, but it was genuine. She did not recognize her dad because she had always known him for having a beard, and she was like 5 or 6 years old, maybe a little bit younger than that, but a young child who's always known her father for having that big beard, no longer having that beard, and, she's like, who the heck are you? But the 0-2 to Johnston with 2 on and nobody out. Lynch trying to get out of the jam. Downstairs on a breaking ball, 1-2. although Odor is now a Baltimore Oriole and is free to grow his beard again. But those team traditions, I think when people think of team traditions, everybody thinks of retired numbers mostly. Like the Dodgers have a tradition that in order for your jersey number to be retired by the team, you have to be a member of the Hall of Fame. I'm trying to think of some others, but everybody's got their home run celebrations now, like the Mariners have their home run trident, because it's the Mariners and everything like that. The Cubs started a tradition of if you catch a ball, catch a home run ball by the other team, you have to throw it back. And that tradition is kind of carried over into all ballparks now. If you catch a home run ball by the visiting team, you have to throw it back. That's just kind of a tradition, but I don't play by those rules. If I catch a home run ball, I do not care if it's for my team or for the other team. I am keeping that son of a gun. It's 0-1 to Colin Revelle. Just been kind of a constant spritz. So I don't know if you heard that cowbell,
Yeah.
but that means that for the distance runners, like the miles, the people that run a mile, that means it's the final lap. A foul ball down the first baseline and out of play, probably onto the track.
I know that from watching the Olympics.
From the Olympics. I didn't know they did that in the Olympics.
Yeah, you hear the bell for the final lap.
Do they also do the starter's gun in the Olympics?
Oh, yeah.
Do you also get scared when they turn on the
because
starter's gun?
I'm watching the TV and I see what's going to happen. Here I'm out in the field and I couldn't see and I heard the gun, and especially these times, Dan, come on.
I'm just busting your chops. Come on now. 2 on, nobody out. Haddon Township looking to break the stalemate with a no-score game. And it's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. No action for Audubon yet. You'd imagine that they might want to get the cylinders pumping a little bit so that if Lynch folds, then they have a plan B. There's a foul ball back to the apparatus. Still 2-2. Pretty windy day. Pretty chilly day, to say the least. But we keep on keeping on here at the William G. Rohrer Memorial Field. The 2-2, Lynch looking for his 6th strikeout of the day. Doesn't get it yet, and the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. What a day this has been. Haddon Township having their most valiant effort yet of the season, as they look to knock off Audubon, but it's still early. And they're swinging a miss. Oh, he's going to throw back to first. And he did not get him. It was a very close play as Colby tried to dive back to the bag. I don't know what he was kind of thinking there, but he had to dive back. 2 down, 6 Ks for Lynch, and 2 on for Schultz as he takes a ball away, 1-0. Popped up right side, Bannell going over. That one's going to land out of play. One count to Schultz. After this would be to Cristofaro on deck. Ball 2, 2-1. Good grief, Charlie Brown. Let's get out of the jam, Scott. If Audubon, I know it's still the 4th inning, but like my doom mode is kind of setting in a little bit. If Haddon Township is able to score and hold off the upset for the next 3 innings, it will be the first time in 11 years that Audubon lost to Haddon Township. But Haddon Township was a darn good team back when Audubon was also a darn good team, and that's a walk to Schultz. Bases are loaded for the Cristofaro. After a hit by pitch, a walk, and back-to-back strikeouts. And Noel is just giving some directions, not taking any action yet. But I don't see anybody through the gaps of the Haddon Township players. I don't see anybody warming up. 2 outs, no more room at the end. First pitch to Cristofaro is a foul ball. Here's the Cristofaro with the 0-1. Pitcher-on-pitcher matchup here. And Audubon looking to get out of a bases-loaded jam. A fly ball down the first base line again. That one's headed for the track. That one actually landed on the track just as runners were passing by. Talk about extreme track and field right there. See, in Audubon, the track out in center field is actually beyond the parameters of play. So in order for you to hit the track, you have to hit a home run. In this place, you just have to hit a foul ball down the first base line, and you've got a flying object coming right at your face while you're running the 4x400. But it's 1 and 2. Yeah, Audubon track and field, the girls team did shockingly well at the Penn Relays. They finished 3rd in the South Jersey small school competition for the 4x400, the relay race, where you take the baton and you hand it off to the next one. They take 4 laps around the track. But I've never really understood the intricacies of track and field because it's so complicated. You can't really get a grasp of it all. There's so many things going on at once. Like right now, there's runners going around the track. There's people on the javelin. There's people pole vaulting. It's like it's so confusing. 2-2 is a fly ball out in the shallow center. Dempsey tracks it and catches it to retire the side. Audubon gets out of a bases-loaded jam, and after 4, 2 big goose eggs on the scoreboard. No score after 4. Top of the 5th inning, still scoreless. This broadcast is brought to you by Paroli's Printing and Bantel's Banners, Signs, and Apparel. The true one-stop shop for all your print and promotional needs with a 5-star Google rating. Handling any ink on paper project, as well as banners, signs, apparel, and promotional swag. Speaking of Bantel, Trent Bantel is the first batter of the inning for the Green Wave. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Audubon. It looks like the rain has stopped for now. A fly ball in the straightaway center and taken in by Schaub for the first out. Bannell quickly retired. And this will bring up Gabe McCracken, who struck out swinging his first time. Cristofaro having one heck of a day, holding Audubon to just 3 hits, a total of 3 strikeouts, and a lot of forced fly balls and ground balls, and really keeping them off balance. And I don't, oh, here we go, line drive to left. That one is a foul ball that will hook around the corner. By the way, hitting for McCracken is Nick Caladros, excuse me, on that one. So he will hit in the place of Gabe. There's a strike 2. Popped up out towards the rooftop deck, but it is going to go out of play. That is behind from where we can
can't see behind the garage.
Yeah. Well, Gennaro was asking the first baseman if he was okay, so I wonder if he hit into the bricks down there. Well, I mean, we can't see from down there, so that's... But I would assume if he catches the ball in front of the fence, it's still an out. Yeah. It's just kind of set up a little bit awkwardly.
Yeah.
In the dirt, 1-2. Caladro stays alive for another pitch. Don't forget, folks, busy week for DWB. Coming up tomorrow will be the first round of the Diamond Classic between the number 9 seeded Audubon Green Wave and the number 24 seeded Holy Cross Prep Lancers, as there's a line drive out to second base, picked up, throw to first is in time, and 2 down as Caladros is retired on the 4-3 ground out. Bryce Dempsey will take some hacks now. He singled in the 3rd inning, but got no further than second base. Dempsey, the junior center fielder, takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. He'll duck away from that one inside, 1-1. Oh, that one hit off the knob of the bat, and it's gonna count as a foul ball. Yeah, that one didn't hit him, it hit the knob of his bat. You could hear it off of the sound that it made. A human bone does not make that sound. That was the knob of the bat, and it clunked off of that. If that ball rolled into fair territory, it would have been a fair ball, but because it rolled foul, luckily for Bryce, he gets to stay alive for another pitch. 1-2. 2-2, excuse me. And Dempsey rockets one in the center field. Going back is Schaub, and he will make the catch to retire the side. DeCristofaro, 5 shutout innings, and we'll see what the Green Wave go with in the bottom half of the 5th. Still scoreless here in Haddon Township. Bottom of the 5th inning. Green Wave and the Hawks deadlocked at 0-0. This feels like a soccer game in the Premier League. There's a first pitch strike to Township. That one misses downstairs. Lynch still wheeling and dealing. But it seems like everything that Lynch has done, Nate DeCristofaro, has mirrored almost verbatim. There is a strike. Should be 1-2. Fouled back and actually hit the batter, which is number 12, Manaiso. 2-2 pitch to Manaiso. I would presume hitting for Evans. And he got him. Lynch with 7 strikeouts, and this is bringing up Colton Schaub. So as we were saying, Audubon plays Holy Cross Prep in the first round of the Diamond Classic at home on Wednesday, and then plays Gateway at home on Thursday, 3:45. Then the Audubon Junior Senior Prom is on Friday. And then on Saturday, there will be a baseball game no matter what, but the question is, who will it be against? If Audubon loses versus Holy Cross, it would be against Williamstown in a previously scheduled game. But if Audubon beats Holy Cross, then they would play Buna, which is the number 8 seed. And they would play that game in Buna. So Audubon's going to play whether they win or lose on Wednesday. It's just a matter of whether it's a Diamond Classic game or a previously scheduled ball game. That one's going to be a short hop to first, and it's in time. 6-3 ground out, but Wiltsey gets the job done just the same, this time with a little more dirt scuffed up on that baseball. Here's Eamon Sheehan. 0 for 2. Shockingly enough, nobody in the top 3 in the order has a hit. Schaub, Sheehan, or Burns. Nobody yet, as 2 quick outs for Lynch. I gotta say, the pitcher's duel. I always love to see these kind of games, and I hate the 10-0 blowouts and everything like that because blowouts are not fun to broadcast. They're not fun to produce for. That's a fair ball. Into the left field corner, Grady picks it up, fires at the second base, and it is not in time. A double for Sheehan down the line. That was just fair. And a 2-out double for Eamon Sheehan. Courtesy of Dan Vulcan, because he said, shockingly, nobody's got a hit. Well, there you go. Eamon Sheehan's got it. I said in the top 3 in the order. Still. I didn't say that Lynch had a no-hitter though. Yeah, but he jinxed it. Well, that's why we have adversity in these pitchers. Now with Nick Burns, we're going to see if Audubon can keep the roll going, or if Haddon Township breaks the stalemate in the 5th. First pitch curveball is a strike, 0-1. Here's a ground ball foul, 0-2. First 3 for the Green Wave, if Burns is retired here, would be Slavin, Wiltsey, and Lynch. And that really felt weird. There was a raindrop. My head was angled to the left, and the raindrop went in my ear. Oh. That, you couldn't have done that a million times if you tried. Downstairs, 1-2. Again, runner on second being Sheehan after the double. That was his first extra base hit all year for the freshman. He's been an Audubon killer before in other realms of sports, but He's now done it in baseball. The 1-2. Strike 3 called outside corner. 8 Ks for Lynch through 5 innings. I thought this was going to be more of a bullpen game, but I guessed wrong. After 5, still scoreless in Haddon Township. Here in the top of the 6th, Green Wave and Haddon Township still scoreless. Really can't believe it, but Joey Slavin, Tyler Wiltsey, and Scott Lynch will look to break the stalemate.
You never know when it's going to break wide open.
Yeah. This game could end 1-0, still could end 10-0. There's no clock in high school baseball.
The sun's coming out.
The sun is coming out just a little bit. A fly ball to shallow left and taken in by Johnston. And Slavin is retired promptly, and there's one away. Do you have a tissue? I need to wipe off the camera lens.
Okay.
There's a tiny little raindrop that hit it at the right angle. So, excuse me. Okay, there we go. Thank you. That one misses upstairs. 2-0. I think the best thing that Audubon can do, if they've been struggling this hard versus the Cristofero, the best thing they can do is master their plate discipline. Tyler Wiltsey's taken 3 pitches, and all of them have been relatively close to the zone. So what you can do, draw a couple walks, get him out of his comfort zone, and try to score that way. 3-1. So I'm not saying don't lift the bat off your shoulders, but don't lift the bat off your shoulders until you have to. Here's a fly ball. Deep right center field. Going back is Schaub. He is going to get there. What a catch. And he's going to hop over the fence while doing it. What a play in center field for the second out. What a play. He has to run around the fence to get back into the field of play, but what a play in center field. And folks, that's why we don't set up right in front of the red fence. We stand about 10 feet back when we do the games with temporary fences. That was an acrobatic play, but I wonder if the coach is going to recruit him for pole vaulting after that play, or a long jump after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was an incredible play.
Yeah, I mean, Schaub really...
Good for Audubon, but it was a fantastic play. That's all I could say.
Here's Tyler Wiltsey, rather Scott Lynch, and a catch in right to end the inning.
Wow.
Wow. This has been a defensive masterclass for Haddon Township. We go to the bottom of the 6th, no score.
the best.
Sorry about that, folks. I was so busy looking for a bathroom that Haddon Township got a hit. So a base hit to left. So Scott Lynch still out there. No call to the bullpen yet. That really is surprising to me, that they haven't done anything about that yet.
He's been pitching good enough, though.
He's been pitching good, but, you know, just one bad mistake would take Audubon out of this. And I mean, in the bottom of the 6th inning, it's crunch time, and it's no score.
I wouldn't take him out, though.
Not yet, I don't think I would, but after a couple of batters, like right now, I'd get somebody warmed up in the bullpen. Whether it's Bryce Dempsey, whether it's Josh Nolan, although Dempsey can't get warmed up because he's in center field right now, but I would get somebody ready. Here's a bunt, back to the mound. He's gonna throw it to second base. It's in time, no throw to first. And so a 1-4 fielder's choice, and there's one away. 3, 4, and 5 is going to be due up for Audubon, which could be their best chance to score. But honestly, I think their best chance to score is if DeCristofaro gets taken out of the game. Because once the bullpen comes in, Audubon maybe has a bit of a better chance of scoring, because right now they have nothing against Nate DeCristofaro. Really making Scott proud. I know he's somebody that came up to me after the Haddonfield game. He was doing some scouting because he's a coach at the University of Valley Forge. And we're going to have a pinch runner here at first. Number 2. But still, he came up to me after the Haddonfield game, and we had a good conversation and talked about, you know, how I want to do this in the future and everything like that. And he's a very nice guy, and he's got a very good kid as a pitcher, I gotta say. And it's 2-0. Although one thing that I will point out, Colby, who is the right fielder, just got pinch ran for at first base, which could mean that Colby could be pitching the 7th inning. It would very well mean that. And that's Cam Spencer, the freshman at first base, by the way. 3-0 count to Tyler Johnston. He's going to take a strike, 3-1. So again, I missed it, but going back to lead off the inning, it was a leadoff single by Colin Colby and a foul ball back to the apparatus, and it's a full count, 3-2. Green Wave trying to lock it down. Haddon Township trying to break through. Really no other way you can slice it. Throw over, nothing going on there. Here we go. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runner on first. And that is gonna be ball 4. So a walk to Johnston.
And that may be the first sign that he's starting to retire.
I think that ever since Haddon Township loaded the bases in the 5th, I think it was, or rather in the 4th inning, I think it was a little bit apparent, but now Geis is gonna talk to him to try to get some strategy and calm his nerves a little bit. But Scott Lynch is a senior who doesn't seem to have a lot of nerves, and if he has them, he doesn't show them. He's very, he's a guy that keeps to himself in situations like this. He just goes to work and does his level best to get the job done. And that's what he's going to try to do here, but I can see Dylan Tassi behind the Haddon Township dugout. I would assume that means that there's somebody warming up, but because of the angle that I'm at, I can't see who it is back there. So we will have to wait and see. Only time will tell. First pitch is a strike to Colin Revelle, who has struck out twice this afternoon. Here's the first pitch. That is downstairs. Breaking from second was Spencer, but he holds up. Again, runners on first and second with one down in the bottom of the sixth. As some blue skies are just starting to peek through over to our 1 o'clock. And a pop-up. Shallow right. Who's got it? Bannell has it. Comes down with it, and he's made it yet another catch down the right field line, and there's 2 down. So runners on first and second again. First pitch. Line drive out to Dempsey. Picked up. Throw to first is in time, and the side is retired. Haddon Township leaves 2 aboard. We go to the 7th, no score.
Folks, bear with us. Our broadcaster is hitting the men's room. Somewhere. Start the top of the 7th inning. And here he comes now, folks.
Here's a grounder out to second base. Picked up, throw to first is in time, and Zimmer is retired. 1 away. Yeah, I went inside the building, and it was locked. So we'll have to wait until after the game. It's not an emergency, but maybe a little TMI, but it's whatever.
Depends on how many extra innings we have to go here.
I don't know, but
hoping the Green Wave can put something up on the board.
if anybody can put something up on the board.
Well, I prefer the Green Wave.
Outside. 1 down. My scorecard for reference only goes 9 innings, so. But nobody seems like they want to win this game except for Charlie Grady, who just lined a single in the left. And a 1-out single off the bat. And this will bring up Jack Dempsey. Dempsey hitting now. 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. He shows bunt, but brings it back, and it's 0-1. Throw over, nothing going on. Now he's going to bunt it, goes back to the mound, throw to first, is in time, and Grady moves up to second. So Charlie on second base, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position for Trent Bantle.
Yesterday with 2 outs seemed to be when they were at their hottest.
Yeah, they were really hot with 2 outs. So
maybe they can pick that
maybe
back
they
up.
can replicate it. I don't know. Foul ball. One. Yeah, it's 2-1. If Audubon loses this one in a 1-0 fashion or even worse, no, never mind. That's a base hit in center field. Charlie Grady's going to come around third with no helmet on. He is safe. He is safe. An 11th hour miracle. 2 outs and an RBI single. Trent Bantle, have yourself a day. He moved up to second base, and it was just as I was about to say, if Audubon didn't score, it would have been the first time since May 4th, 2019 that they were shut out in a game, and that was a 10-0 loss to Gloucester Catholic. But Audubon will continue its streak, and they lead 1-0. Oh my goodness. First pitch strike to Caladros. Wow. I mean, this game has just been so smooth from a pitching standpoint, and all it took was one swing of the bat, a couple swings of the bat actually, but
still, it's not like they're handing it to us.
They are not handing it to us in any way, shape, or form.
No, they've been putting on a
breaking ball called strike.
Called it a defensive clinic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Great pitching, great defensive plays.
Foul ball. After this, if the inning continues, is Dempsey. I mean, just wow. I really have not seen a game this close in a long time. Grounder, he chopped it. And the throw to first is in time. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 3 outs to go for Audubon. 1-0. Fly ball. Shallow right center to start the seventh. Bantle can't get there. Dempsey's got it. Going to second base. Throw is cut off. And a leadoff double, Bobby Evans.
Like both teams just saved it all up for the end of the game.
Yeah. All of the firepower coming late. The bottom of the order doing some heavy lifting as Evans will be pinch run for by number 24, who on my list is, actually I don't have anybody on my list. The new pitcher is Josh Nolan. He closed it out versus Bordentown yesterday with a scoreless sixth. He's going to step off, throw to second base, nothing going on there. So again, a leadoff double in the right center field gap off the bat of Bobby Evans. And to strike, 0-1. Breaking ball misses in, 1-1 for Colton Schaub. After that will be Eamon Sheehan with nobody out. Bottom of the seventh. And that's going to be a hit by pitch, a plunker for Schaub. And it will send him down the first. Wow. I mean, really just...
Bad timing for that.
Bad timing, yeah. Although I'm surprised that they didn't go with Caladros pitched 100 pitches yesterday. Never mind, he can't throw.
No.
Charlie Grady, though. I'm not saying that Nolan's a bad choice, but I'm saying for a seventh inning game in a 1-0, position, you put in the guy who's got maybe 2 innings of work all year.
How do you put in anybody to follow that performance by Lynch?
Yeah, I mean, Scott Lynch and Nate DeCristofaro.
Pitcher's duel.
It was a pitcher's duel, one of the greatest types of games that you'll ever see in baseball. And really just an incredible sight all day. Nolan was talking with Zimmer. And again, runners on first and second for Haddon Township as they look to continue the crusade. As the first pitch, Sheehan shows bunt, goes back to the mound. Nolan gets the throw to third, and it is not in time. So Nolan tried to get the lead runner, but instead everyone is safe and the bases are loaded with nobody out for Nick Burns. This is a heart-sinking moment right here. Obviously, it's not over, but you look at the scoreboard that's presented in front of you, and it's just, baseball is not supposed to be this stressful, but sometimes it is. Wade Geis and the entire infield talking. They're probably, in my opinion, going to put the infield in here with nobody out.
Gotta say, looking at the replay, it did look like the throw was just a hair late.
Just a hair late, yeah.
The human eye, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But looking at the slow-mo, it looked like a good call.
Yeah. Here at William G. Rohr Memorial Field, one of the best games you'll see in a long time. Haddon Township as the underdogs going into today with Nick Delgazzo. If Audubon loses this game, they would fall to 10-4 going into Wednesday's game versus Holy Cross. And look at this. Look who's coming out. It's Nick Caladros.
Oh my goodness.
No. Hold on. I don't know what's going on here. They just took Nolan out of the game.
Maybe it's a switch?
I know exactly what they're doing. Okay. Gabe McCracken is coming in. I knew Caladros, like, legally by New Jersey sports regulations would not have been allowed to pitch. So I think that Nolan is going to third base, I think that's what's going on. But we have a Parole's printing pitching change. We'll catch up after this. Bottom of the 7th inning. The scoreboard tells 1,000 words in just one picture. Gabe McCracken is pitching here in the bottom of the 7th after Josh Nolan failed to get an out. He had really a scratchless 6th inning versus Bordentown yesterday, but today his fate was not as clean. So Gabe McCracken, who has not allowed an earned run this season nor last season, appears in his 3rd game this year. He pitched 3 1/3 innings of relief in Audubon's comeback win over Kingsway 7-6, and also 2 innings in relief versus Timber Creek just a couple of days ago last Wednesday. Nick Burns with the bases loaded, lines 1 foul, 0-1. On first base is Eamon Sheehan. On second base is, is that Colton Schaub? Yes, it is. It's Colton Schaub on second base, and then a pinch runner on third, who I do not have on my roster, with number 24. 0-1 to Burns. Tried to lean into it a little bit, and he takes inside. 1-1. Did kind of look like he maybe flailed his shoulder out a little bit, or his elbow. You would not want the game to be tied on a hit by pitch that shouldn't have been. 2-1. Bryce Dempsey didn't exactly like that wasn't called a strike. He put his face into his glove and was very visually frustrated. 2-1. There's a strike. 2-2. Now, Audubon, you can exhale for another pitch. McCracken is set. No room at the inn. Haddon Township stood up right against the fence. The 2-2 is a ground ball. It's going to shoot. Dempsey dives. Throw to first is in time, but the game is tied. Scoring from third is the Haddon Township pinch runner, and each team has plated 1 in the 7th. The quintessential inning of this game has been the only inning where anyone has scored. Runners on second and third for Colin Colby, as Haddon Township looks to walk it off, and this is going to be an intentional walk to bring up Johnston. Here is Tyler Johnston. 0 for 2. Fly out, a strikeout, and a walk back in the 6th inning. Here's a ground ball to Nolan. Throw to the plate is in time. And they saved the game with 2 down. Bases loaded. See, that was the perfect thing you could have had there from Johnston, was that routine ground ball. Nolan picked it up, and he hasn't had a lot of work in the field in any other position other than on the mound. So the fact that he was able to field it cleanly and give a nice strike of a throw to Zimmer is really a good thing. First pitch to Colin Revelle is a strike. Two outs, bases loaded. Revelle looking to be the hero here in Township. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, 0-2. Revelle, the junior second baseman. 3 strikeouts this afternoon, looking to avoid a golden sombrero. The 0-2 pitch is lofted foul by a hair. I mean, Lynch dove for that ball, and as soon as I saw that, I thought, well, this is game over, but from the angle that we're at, really can't tell all that well. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Couldn't have drawn it up better in Hollywood. McCracken deals, and it's outside. Zimmer booted the ball. It popped right out of his glove, but he hangs on. And the reaction on your face says it all. I mean, you watch this team more passionately than you do the Phillies. Here we go. Let's try it again. Haddon Township, bases loaded. 1-2 in a tie game. On the outside corner, called strike 3. Revelle strikes out for the 4th time tonight, and the Green Wave pour out of the dugout, and we have free baseball. Extra innings coming right up. 1-1 game after 7. We're not done here in Haddon Township. We'll be right back after this. Top of the 8th inning. Yes, you heard that right. 8th inning. You wanted 7 innings of baseball? Too bad. You get more. Audubon and Haddon Township tied up at 1. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Parolles Printing and Bantles Banners, Signs, and Apparel. The true one-stop shop for all your print and promotional needs with a 5-star Google rating. If you need graduation, lawn signs and banners, flyers, A-frames, business cards, or envelopes done right, this is the place for you. Bryce Dempsey leading off the 8th. And you know who's still pitching? Nate DeCristofaro. He must have a tungsten arm or something like that, because he is wheeling and dealing and is going into the extra innings still on the mound. And this field doesn't have a pitch count on the scoreboard as Bordentown did, but after what happened in the 7th, I would have thought that Haddon Township had a plan B with the bullpen, but right now they are going ride or die with DeCristofaro. Should be 2-0. Not going to matter. Here's a ground ball to short. Sheehan throw across the diamond is a rocket, and it's not in time. Dempsey with an infield single. He beat it out by maybe just under a step.
So Dan, what's the high school rule for how many innings do we go?
You go as many innings as the sun will permit you to.
Okay.
If the field doesn't have lights, as soon as
so they don't have to stop at 9.
No. Well, remember back last year there was an Audubon West Deptford game with 3 hours and 37 minutes, and it was a 12-inning game.
Okay.
Isaiah Pinckney ended it on a walk-off home run on the first pitch. But the rule is that as long as the sun is shining and the players and umpires can see, then we play on. Now, like Timber Creek, they tied versus Del Rand 13-13, but that game only lasted 9 innings because the sun was setting so quickly, and also it was a 13-13 game. That game is going to move a lot slower than a 1-1 game. Like, how long is the broadcast going to go? So 2 hours and 13 minutes. We're almost at 6 o'clock. We probably still have another hour and a half of baseball if necessary.
They don't have lights here, right?
No, Haddon Township does not have lights. They do have solar panels down the left field line, as you can see on top of the scoreboard, but I know the football field doesn't have lights either. They kind of have to do what Audubon does and ship in lights from the outside on one of those mobile carts. But, oh by golly. It's 2-0 to Slavin. Runner on first after the infield single by Dempsey. Fouled back, 2-1. Dempsey with his second hit of the day, and Slavin shows bunt, but rescinds it quite quickly, and it's 3-1. Slavin 0 for 2 today with a strikeout looking in the third and a pop out to the left fielder in the sixth. 3-1. He shows bunt again, but takes a strike. It's 3-2. This kind of reminds me of that Joe Lang Classic game. We were in the bottom of the 8th inning, and it was a tie game at 2. Pitchers duel all day between Stephen Devaney and Gateway's pitcher. Couldn't remember his name, but Jude Engstrom, the sophomore, is just swinging a miss. DeCristofaro with another strikeout. And there's one down. This is going to bring up Tyler Wiltsey, but Jude Engstrom was at the dish, and it was an 0-1 count, and he had went for the sacrifice bunt, but couldn't get it down. And on the very next pitch, he won the game on a walk-off single. Now, of course, Pittman was the home team, not the visitors. So obviously things are a little bit different here for the Green Wave, but yeah, this will be the first time since last year that the Green Wave have had a game go into extra innings. The 1-0 breaking ball strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Fly ball, shallow, right center, and wow!
Oh, what a catch.
What a play, bending over backwards. An incredible play at second base by Colin Revelle. His outfielders make sure that he's okay because he did take a decent fall, and I mean he was
tucked and rolled though.
Yeah, yeah, he was lurching backwards and then made a spectacular catch. We have had some web gems this afternoon, no matter what side you're on. This has been an incredible game. Nick Delgazzo coming out to talk to DeCristofaro. He is going to stay in the game after a quick conference. Delgazzo on the right side of your screen, walking back to the dugout. They have faith in their junior right-hander. They have faith in this man. And now the main challenge, Objective A, get down Scott Lynch. With 2 down and a runner on first in a 1-1 game in the top of the 8th. And the thing is here is that I think that just looking from how Nate DeCristofaro has stayed in this game, I think that Audubon may have a bit of a deeper bullpen than Haddon Township has right now. But here's a ground ball. Is that a fair ball? No, it is not. And if it was, then Scott Lynch would have been out of luck because he didn't leave the batter's box. But You'd have to imagine next up in line would be Bryce Dempsey. He'd probably get a couple innings in. And here's a ground ball back towards short. He'll take it to second himself, and the inning is over. Haddon Township elated as their infield and outfield return to the dugout. We still do not have a leader. Seems like almost nobody wants to win this game. We just keep on moving on and on and on. Going to the bottom of the 8th, 1-1 score. Bottom of the 8th inning. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Doug Does Anything, your local handyman. If you need anything done, no matter how big or small, give Doug Does Anything a call at 856-412-0118. Again, 856-412-0118. Well, these fans are braving the chilly weather and the long ball game that has preceded this current moment as Gabe McCracken is in it to win it with a fly ball out to center field. Dempsey going back, off his glove, couldn't get there. Going over to second base, and in there standing up is going to be Haddon Township's Tyler Schultz. And just like the 7th inning, we lead off the 8th, the first of the extra period, with a double. Step off. First pitch showing bunt is to Cristofaro, and it's a foul ball. To Cristofaro, his 4th time through the order, singled in the 3rd, flew out to center in the 4th, and grounded out to second in the 6th. 0-1 count. McCracken looks back, kicks and deals. He's going to show bunt, but the ball's going to get away. Going to 3rd, and getting in there is not in time. And Schultz goes to 3rd. The ball was just in the dirt, and Zimmer needed a second to hang on. This will be the first time in over 10 years that Audubon falls to Haddon Township if the Hawks hold on for a walk-off winner. For Cristofaro, the pitch is low, 2-1. After this would be Bobby Evans, who led off the 7th with a double. But now the Green Wave in a more volatile position than ever before. Runner on 3rd, nobody out, bottom of the 8th. Hawks looking to win. And a foul ball down towards the Audubon dugout makes it 2-2. You never know what you're going to see when you unload that equipment for a baseball game. Didn't know if it was going to be 10-0 or nothing, and it turns out we got the latter.
Well, no matter what, whoever wins this game, this has been an amazing game.
Yeah, no matter what side you're on, this has been one heck of a baseball game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Haddon Township 90 feet away, and a swing and a miss. DeCristofaro retired, and there's one down. Now, honestly, what I would do here, if it were me, intentionally walk Evans, because even though he struck out twice, although I don't think this is Evans, no, this is number 21 at the dish, maybe you intentionally walk this guy and set up a double play ball. But the risk with that is, if you only convert one out and the runner at first is safe, that runner's going to be breaking for home, Schultz on third, and he would score to win the game. Strike called, 0-2. Again, Haddon Township would improve to 8-9 if they win this one. Bryce Miller, the junior, facing the sophomore McCracken. Swing and a miss. There's another clutch strikeout, and after a double and a wild pitch, Gabe McCracken has leveled the playing field with back-to-back Ks. And there is 2 down for Colton Schaub. He's 0 for 3. He walked in the 7th, but before that, struck out, flew out, and grounded out. He's really had all of the different ways that a man can get out in a ball game, except get out of the yard. Remember, he made an amazing catch in center field earlier in the game that he hopped over the fence for. It's 0-1 to Schaub. Breaking ball. Oh! Wow! They said that he leaned into the pitch, and that's exactly what we were looking for in the Timber Creek game. And these sets of umpires, they called it, and it's going to be 0-2. When a batter leans into the pitch, it's an automatic called strike. And that's exactly what they called, and they probably should have done that versus Timber Creek on Wednesday. But in today's game, it seems like they're willing to call it. The 0-2. Swinging a fly ball. Grady going over. Dempsey's got it! The wind looked like it was about to gift the Hawks with a win, but instead we have another inning of free baseball here in Haddon Township. 8 innings was not enough to decide a victor. We go to the 9th. What is this, Major League Baseball? It's 1-1. Here in the top of the 9th, Audubon and Haddon Township tied up at 1. 8 innings could not decide a victor. There's some real skyscraper apartments right there down the first base line. I'd imagine if you live on the top couple of floors, you have a really good view of the baseball games and the track meets around here.
Yeah, we should get an apartment. We just broadcast from there.
I don't know if my camera's zoom goes that far. But... So here in another extra inning, as it's 3, 4, and 5 up for the Green Wave, and after 8 incredible innings of work, Nate DeCristofaro will finally get to rest and maybe get some ibuprofen in his right arm, as Jack Jantorno, the freshman right-hander, is slated to face Ryan Zimmer. I'm sure DeCristofaro, with an ERA of 4.91, now that he's had 8 innings of 1-run ball, that would incredibly decrease his ERA right there. There's a strike to Zimmer to lead off the 9th. It's 0-1. Waits on it and fouls it off down the right field line. That'll land on the track. It's 0-2. Jack Jantorno, freshman right-hander, 7 innings pitched in 23, 2 flat ERA, 10 hits, 5 strikeouts, 5 walks. This is his 4th appearance of the year. But all 3 times he has pitched, it has been in a losing effort. The 1-2 pitch from Jantorno. Zimmer leans back, and it's 2-2. Again, 3, 4, and 5. Zimmer, Grady, and Dempsey. Zimmer reached on a fielder's choice in the first, and then 2 straight groundouts followed that. He golfs this one deep to left center field. That one's going to split the gap. Zimmer flying around first, going to second. The throw will beat him, and he gets around the tag. He's safe. The throw looked like it had beat him, and it looked like he was out for sure. But he must have done some David Copperfield trickery to get around the tag. And a leadoff double for Audubon puts them in a prime position versus Jantorno. Oh my goodness.
What it was, the second baseman wasn't on the bag.
The second baseman wasn't on the bag?
Yeah, so when he got the ball, he had to get back to the base.
Well, here's a looper in the left field. That's a base hit. Zimmer starts and then stopped, but then got restarted and will hold up at third. So on the first pitch, Grady with a single. And this brings up Jack Dempsey. Remember, back on Wednesday in that tumultuous 11-10 game, Dempsey had the walk-off single off of Timber Creek, but that only took 7 innings to complete, and right now we're just about, I think, past 6:15. Yeah, it's 6:09 p.m. And a breaking ball downstairs, 1-0. That was a clutch hit by Zimmer in the gap, and then Grady was able to punctuate that with a fly ball to left. Zimmer tags. He's coming home. Throw to the plate is up the line, and it's not in time. Going down to second base is Grady. He's safe! Safe! And the Green Wave retake the lead in the most crucial part of the game in the 9th inning. A sacrifice fly to left. Runner on second, and the Green Wave, for the first time in a long time, retake the lead. 1 away, and Trent Bennell is up at the plate as Jantorno, calls time. Oh my goodness.
What a game.
Here's a ground ball out to third. It's fair. Throw across the diamond is in time, and moving to third is Charlie. And there's 2 down, and this is going to set the stage for Gabe McCracken. If Audubon can hang on to this, I mean, really, what an incredible game this would be. Strike 1. Two outs. Runner on third. McCracken takes upstairs. Down 2-0. A slow breaking ball makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes rather. That gets away, and it will be ball 4. Excuse me. No, 3-2. Got ahead of myself by 1 pitch.
All this excitement.
All the excitement's getting to my head, and I mean, in a 2-1 game, out of Audubon's 13 games this year, this would be the first, second, third, fourth. This would be the 5th game out of 13 to end in a 1-run finale. McCracken strikes out swinging, and we go to the bottom of the 9th, 2-1. Audubon leads over Haddon Township. We'll see if they can shut it down and send us all home happy. Bottom of the 9th. And yes, in high school, the bottom of the 9th means extra innings, but Gabe McCracken needs 3 more outs to secure a win, and it's a darn good thing because I have no more room on my scorecard for another inning. There's the ball. 1-0. It's 2, 3, and 4 due up for Haddon Township. Sheehan, Burns, and Colin Colby. There's a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. In the dirt, a cricket pitch, and it's 2-1. Don't forget, folks, because this game is on the road, everybody's got to get on the bus, and we got to get back home. So no post-game interview today. That's only for home games for Audubon. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Foul back to the apparatus. Some Audubon fans still toughing it out on the rooftop, and then plenty still doing so behind home plate. Here we go. 2-2. Haddon Township looking for a fresh start. And there's a swing and a miss. Sheehan was just a little bit off on that fastball. And there's one away. Here is Nick Burns. Burns, his 5th time up today. Grounded out in the 1st, was hit by a pitch in the 4th, and then struck out looking in the 5th, singled in the 7th. A fly ball, right center field. Dempsey is under it, and he makes the catch for a quick second out. And this will bring up Tyler Johnston, possibly the last chance for Haddon Township. And I mean, if you're Nick Delgazzo and the Haddon Township crew, you really have to look at it from a silver lining perspective of, we just held Audubon to 2 runs over 9 innings. That is something that a lot of teams have not been able to do.
No, I think both teams have to walk out of here with their head held high.
Yeah. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
It's been a heck of a ball game.
It really has been one of the best games that I've watched in a long time. This has been really an incredible season to cover. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Remember, if Audubon wins this one. They improve to 11-3. Haddon Township would fall to 7-10. Gabe McCracken looking for the pitching win in the bottom of the 9th. Here's the 1-2. Outside, not called. 2-2. Audubon plays Holy Cross Prep tomorrow at home in the first round of the Diamond Classic. And Haddon Township plays the Deptford Spartans tomorrow. Fouled back to the apparatus, and it's still 2-2. Eamon Sheehan led off the inning with a strikeout. Nick Burns flew out to center on the first pitch. But Colin Colby is giving McCracken a battle of a lifetime. Here's a ground ball. It hit off of his foot, and they're going to call that ball dead. It is a foul ball, and I think that he lined that one either off of his knee or off of his foot. One of the assistant coaches is going to come out, and he's going to get back up and try to shake it off a little bit. There's Delgado on the right, and he gives him a little pat on the behind as he will look to rebound. That one either hit off of his knee or off of his foot, one of the two, but nonetheless, probably still hurt a lot. 2-1 Green Wave, looking to shut this one down. Bottom of the 9th, McCracken kicks and deals. Outside, Bale started to move, but he didn't go. And it's 3-2. McCracken needs one more, but he also needs one more ball to put Haddon Township back into it. The 3-2 is a swing and a foul. Oh my goodness, how much longer will this at bat last? It just will not end.
Tension is insane.
Tension is insane indeed. Haddon Township trails by 1. Green Wave looking to take this one home in extra innings. The 3-2 is a foul ball again. You know what they say, the last out is always the hardest out to get, and that's where a lot of pitchers get caught up in getting a little bit too far over their heads. The 3-2 again. Ball 4. And Haddon Township stays alive for yet another batter. And a walk to Colby brings up Tyler Johnston. Colby on first, Johnston at the dish. Again, his 5th time up. He's been walked twice, once unintentionally and once intentionally in the 7th. Other than that, he's flown out to right and struck out. Strike 1. After this, if the game continues after Johnston, it will be Colin Revelle up next for Haddon Township. A far cry from the 13-1 Audubon game versus Township last year. And another foul ball. Again, Hawks down to their last strike. On a brisk Tuesday afternoon here in Haddon Township, 6:20 p.m. This game's been going on for almost 2.5 hours. We've gone a full 7 innings and then some here in the bottom of the 9th. 2-1 ball game. McCracken tasked with a runner on first after the walk. Audubon's dugout. Clap up. He kicks and deals. And that's a foul ball. He just got a piece of it. There are goosebumps on both of my arms, and they're not from being cold, it's from being nervous about this game. Audubon looking to seal the deal. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, and he got him! Ball game! Ball game! What an ending! Green Wave outfielders celebrating with full glee as the Green Wave eke out a win by the most incredible circumstances possible. A 2-1 final score in 9 innings. as the Green Wave could not seal it in 7, could not seal it in 8, but it doesn't matter whether it takes 5 innings or 10 innings or 15 innings. A win is a win, and Gabe McCracken will be credited for the win on the mound in the scorecard after that swing and a miss right there. Audubon improves to 11-3 on the 2023 season. Haddon Township falls to 7-10. Folks, Audubon will play Holy Cross Prep and the Lancers tomorrow at 3:45 at home in the first round of the 2023 Diamond Classic. After that, if Audubon wins, they would play Buna on Saturday in Buna. After that, they'll play Gateway on Thursday at 3:45 at home. Haddon Township plays Deptford tomorrow at home for the Hawks, and man, what a game it was. From everybody here at the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting crew, my graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel and Caleb Lane, my producer, Donna Wilkins, and myself, Dan Wilkins, we will see you tomorrow afternoon as Holy Cross comes to town to kick off the 2023 Diamond Classic. Final score today, Audubon 2, Haddon Township 1 in a full 9 innings. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Get up, get up, get up.